So let's just stick with the Raptors here for a sec. Siakam's $38 million come off the books this summer. OG is got a player option for $20 million next season, but it's likely he won't take it so he can test free agency. At what point in this season, if you're the Raptors, do you look to move these two guys to get somewhat of a return for them? Because it looks like there's not going to be an extension worked out with either of them. Or do you like the way things are going and you offer those extensions?
Well, I think both of those players are good players. So when you start talking about getting rid of players, my biggest question is always, how are you going to replace them? Siakam and OG those are legitimate rotational championship caliber players.
Well, Siakam's been an all-star. OG's on the border, like he could be a defensive player of the year combo.
So, now, again, I'm just going to assume here that we're going to all say Scottie Barnes is the centerpiece to this.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Scottie Barnes is coming into his own. At some point, Scottie Barnes is going to be up too. So let's assume that they're going to give Scottie Barnes somewhere in the upper echelon.
He's got this year and next year left on his rookie scale deal. Okay. And then they're going to have to give him the extension.
Yeah, they'll give him the extension. So whatever that extension may be, somewhere north of probably $40 million. Okay. So he's going to do that. Now, once you start paying a guy that level of money and you make that commitment to him, what are you going to surround him with? Well, the one thing we know that works in this league is experience. Okay. One thing we know is you look for chemistry. Siakam, OG, Scottie Barnes, Schroeder, those are really good players. So if you start getting rid of those players, who are you going to replace them with? Because if you're going to pay Scottie Barnes and he is the centerpiece, with that payment, with that commitment, now comes expectations. Mm-hmm. So I think now it's just about finding the right chemistry for this group with Scottie Barnes now as the centerpiece to this equation. Mm-hmm. That to me is what I'm looking for. Like, I agree with why those guys haven't signed yet. Why? Because the chemistry wasn't right. Right? Was it Fred VanVleet?
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse was, then they had DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard. And I mean, they've gone through a lot of changes up there. And this, to me, is the first time where it looks like they kind of enjoy playing with each other. I mean, you can tell that right away when you watch a team play. They look like they enjoy playing with one another. I mean, they had a big win there versus the Spurs. I think they were down like 20 points or so, and they came back and won that game. So I'm looking for chemistry and building around two things, right? I want a level of athlete with Scottie Barnes because that's his greatest attribute. I mean, he is a terrific athlete. And the second thing I want to do is I want to build around his versatility on both ends of the court. So I think OG, Siakam, and Schroeder and these guys are the right type of athletes. Now, does that mean they're the right type of players? I don't know that because what for me, the determining factor of figuring out chemistry is what happens after you go through a losing spell, 3 or 4 games. Mm-hmm. That to me, that's the determining factor, right? When you win, everyone's happy. But when you lose, you find out a lot about who's who. Like last night, Mo, I can't believe this. I watched the whole Memphis Grizzlies versus Portland Trailblazers game last night.
Hey, 1-0 with Bismack in the starting lineup. How about that? Undefeated.
Yes. And I watched the game, right? One, because of Bismack. However, I was really impressed with Memphis' ability to lose like their first 5 or 6 games. Mm-hmm. And come out and play the way they played on the road. And that to me, Mo, is like, okay, this team has character. Now I know your guy, Marcus Smart, was sensational. Always. He was, Jaren Jackson was incredible.
Trying to stay out of foul trouble.
But you know what? Yeah, go ahead.
This goes to the Raptors. Did you see them play the Spurs the other night on Sunday night? And they were down, 20 plus?
Yes.
And then they come back and win it in overtime.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I always look for. Now, that to me is one of those wins that you say, okay, this has a chance to be a team. And I know
They put a
'cause I've
beating
been
on the
good
Bucks
teams.
as well.
Yeah. You. I've been on good teams. I've been on bad teams. This is the type of win for the Toronto Raptors that you say we can build on this. So I like they've had a couple of really good wins early on, right? They beat the Milwaukee Bucks handedly, and then they turn around and come down from 20 on the road and win. So, this says a lot about this group. It says a lot that they're playing together. And, Mo, if they continue to do this 25, 30 games into the season, you might have something there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to see.